All right, so today we're going to be covering how to get more reviews for your products on Amazon. And specifically, we're going to be talking about these things. Number one, why you should get more reviews. This is something that's pretty obvious, but you're going to see as I show some examples to you that people miss this. New sellers miss this all the time. I talk to them routinely. I get all sorts of emails. And even too initially when I was first talking to Spencer, I hammered in this point to him as well. After that, we'll be covering specific strategies and tools that I'm using to get more reviews, and then one tool in particular that I'm going to be demoing for you today. And also we're going to have a bonus that's tied to that as well. So make sure you stick around for that. And number three, we'll be covering the exact script that I use to get people to review my products. So you can copy and adapt it. It's actually based on a company that I found that did really, really well. They actually sold for $22 million. And I used some of the principles that I learned from the way they communicate with their customers and applied that to the way I talk to my customers. And then lastly, there's going to be an additional bonus if you stay all the way to the end and take action. So stick around for all that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, if you have any questions, please do go ahead and post them. And we'll be sure to answer this as we go along and also definitely at the end. Okay, so to talk about this concept of getting more reviews, I'm going to use a specific niche. And for those of you, I know that Spencer had mentioned he uses AmaSuite as well. And this is an example that I give when I talk about that. So barbecue grill brushes. This is a niche that we're going to talk about in the context of helping to get more reviews. Okay. So again, I mentioned before that new sellers don't always get this, right? I went on to Amazon, and some of these listings may have more reviews from when I first took these screenshots, but even if I found others, this routinely I find this where I look at these customer reviews, they've done everything right, they have great images, they have great title, they have great everything else, and the price is set and doing well, but then the reviews are small, right? 3 reviews for this product. Moving on to this one here, again, great title, great image, only 4 reviews. And here's another one, again, great title, great images, $9.95, that's a great price, and then again, only 6 reviews. And so what is wrong with this picture? Can anyone guess what's wrong with this? Look at these reviews, and you can see there's different people saying this brush is a long handle, so your hand doesn't get too hot while brushing your grill. That's great. They'll eventually wear out. A few people saying, but the problem here is that if you look at these reviews, I kind of gave it away a little bit before, but it's been over 6 months, actually over 7 months, and since this product was first selling, and the seller only has 6 reviews. You can find this because you can look at any listing and you can sort the number of reviews that it has and sort by the most recent reviews, and then you go to the very final page. You can see what the very first review is listed. And so you can actually use that strategy to reverse engineer, and which we'll talk about a little bit later. But this is what's wrong here. So you see 6 reviews for this product that's been up for over 6 months. And if you look at these other listings, again, other barbecue grill brushes, you see a continual theme that the more reviews these products tend to have, the higher the bestseller, or the lower the bestseller rank, which would then translate to more sales. And now this isn't the only factor that goes into the equation of a bestseller rank, but getting reviews and getting a lot of reviews for your product is incredibly, incredibly important. And it really just translates to the more reviews you have, the more social proof, and that translates to more consumer confidence, and then, of course, more sales. And so it all kind of builds on itself to help you get more sales and to make more money from your business. And if you think about your own personal buying behavior, I know that when I'm shopping on Amazon, I'm never buying products that have, a couple reviews. I'm always buying the products that have hundreds of reviews. And so shooting for a much higher mark in terms of the reviews, as in, for example, I have to shoot for 1,000 reviews on a product, that's the type of thing that will make any consumer that goes to the listing think, okay, there's plenty of social proof here. So many people have already reviewed this product and said, okay, it's good, and they're going to buy it. And if you have a lot less reviews than that, they're going to see people that don't necessarily look at purchasing that product because they're thinking, okay, well, there's only a few reviews. Let me look at some other options, right? So it can really impact your conversion rate. And if you think about it from the context of Amazon, right, what do they want? They want you to generate sales. And so who does Amazon like? They like sellers that generate more sales for them. And so ultimately what you're trying to do is just make Amazon love you more by increasing your conversion rate, and that can help with everything else, like your sales, your keyword rankings, etc. There's several different factors that actually influence your conversion rate on your listing page, including your title, your images, your bullet points, and also your description. These are topics alone that we could probably do an entire presentation on, just on the title, images, bullet points, descriptions. But specifically, we're going to focus on the social proof component, and that comes in the form of reviews. So again, now, for those of you that already experienced the sellers, you might already be thinking, okay, Chris, you're riding the obvious train. You're beating this into me. But the thing is, getting reviews is something that you can easily control. So there should be no excuse for you if you're selling on Amazon not to have a lot of reviews for your product. So here's some strategies you can use to get more reviews. I'm going to be covering 5 different strategies, and we're going to dive into each one. So the first one, friends and family. Second, top 10,000 reviewers. The third is product launch services. The fourth is your own list of VIP reviewers. And then finally, an email follow-up sequence. Okay? So before we go any further and into these different strategies, I want to make sure that you know that what is and isn't allowed with this business isn't always black and white. I know that Spencer talked about this on his blog as well. And I know that just from selling on Amazon myself, that you find that Amazon has specific rules about what you can and can't do, and yet sellers routinely may do it anyways, right? So what I'm talking about is I'm going to share the strategies that I know people are using that are effective, and I'm going to label which ones are still kind of an in-between zone, if you will, right? Because you don't want to have that, you don't want to be that person that gets pulled over on the side of the road and say, well, everyone else is speeding. And the police officer says, well, you're the one that I pulled over, right? And that's that's actually what I said to a police officer one time I got pulled over. And so you don't want to have that problem occur. So I want to make sure I label everything for you as well. Okay, so let's get into it. Friends and family. This one is a gray area strategy. And the reason for that is because a little while back, Amazon did an update to their terms of service. And this is actually several months ago. And they listed off specific examples of reviews that they don't allow. So for example, a product manufacturer posts a review of their own product posing as an unbiased shopper. So obviously you can't review your own product, right? And again, this is something that you assume that people would have common sense for, but a lot of times people miss this because this is buried in the terms of service that they don't necessarily look at that often, right? Another one too, even on the shopper site, a shopper unhappy with their purchase can't post multiple negative reviews for the same product. This is another big one too. In the more recent news, which we'll talk about, a customer posts a review in exchange for $5, right? So you can't have a customer that you're incentivizing with money or a discount on your product. That's something I've seen people do as well, where they offer a discount if they leave a review and they apply the discount after the fact. You can't do that. That's what's going to get you potentially banned. Another thing too, again, posting a review for, and then this is one here, right? So a family member of the product creator post a 5-star customer review to help boost sales. So they specifically call out family members, right? And so again, friends aren't specifically listed out, and you can use, you can contact your friends. I'd done friends and family in the beginning, but how many people here are selling on Amazon right now and have tried using friends and family to help get you product reviews? I'm going to look over here on my other monitor to see anyone that's doing that right now. So a few seconds here for people to reply. Yeah, so Tamara's saying none right now. Richard says they hate me right now. Tried, but Amazon rejected. Okay. So a few people are replying here. And honestly, the biggest thing, here we go. Philip has the answer that I was searching for. He says, yes, but they take forever. And that's exactly true, right? Because you contact your friends and your family and you think, hey, these are my best friends, my family member. They're, blood related, and yet it takes them forever to post these reviews. So frankly, I don't use these reviews anymore. I think there's so many other strategies you can implement, but friends and family is a tactic that you can use to help get those initial reviews, but they do take, in my experience, and in Philip's and a few other people that are commenting now, it just takes forever, right? And for those of you that are saying they rejected the review, that's most likely because the person had logged on to your home network before, and if they do, then the Amazon can tie that person to you, and then they'll see a review from that person. They think that you're related in some way, and so they don't post those reviews. So that's what can happen, and that's why some of you are commenting. Okay, so another strategy, top 10,000 reviewers. How many people have been to this page where you go to Amazon, you can Google this, just top 10,000 reviewers, and you look at this page here. So if you come to this page, and actually they made a recent change after I took this screenshot here, but they come here and you can actually click a button and it will show you their email address. Right? When I took the screenshot, it actually shows their email address. And it also shows you their interests, right? So you can say my interests include computers, photography, Android mobile devices, kitchen gadgets, home improvements, etc. Right? So this strategy right here, you can actually go on to Amazon. You can find these people, you can see what they're interested in, and then you can contact them and say, hey, I have a product that's in the kitchen gadget space. Would you be interested in leaving me a review? And what you can do as well is you can look at these reviewers. You can see what they reviewed in the past. You can see, okay, are they someone that gives you a high quality review, or are they more often giving lower quality reviews, right? And so you can do that when you contact these people. So this is a very, very powerful tactic, and one that I actually found out by looking at another company. I found this company, they were 8 figures, so I knew that revenues were pretty massive. And the reason why they knew the revenues were massive is because the owner was actually on a podcast talking about their Amazon business. So I said, okay, I got to see what these people are doing. And so I looked at what they were doing, and all they were really using was getting top 10,000 reviewers to review their products. And this is something they're still doing today, because I look every now and then to see what they're doing. And you can actually find out if someone's using this strategy in your own niche by going to any Amazon listing, as I mentioned before. You can look at the reviews, sort by the newest review, and then go to the final page. So that basically helps you get to the very first reviews that were listed. And that's really a quick way to help get reviews as well. And it's a strategy that a lot of people are using. It still works really, really well today. And we're going to come back to that as well, this top 10,000 reviewers. Strategy 3, this is product launch services. Now, again, this can be a gray area because you really want to avoid any service that's buying reviews, right? Earlier this year in April, Amazon sued websites who are profiting from getting people to leave bogus customer reviews, right? And this is something that people talked about in all the various Facebook groups, and people were concerned about what was happening. And then just the other day, Amazon filed a lawsuit not only against the websites, rather they filed a lawsuit against the actual individuals they were offering fake reviews. I think it was over 1,000 people, right? And so again, sellers are continuously making really bad decisions when it comes to how they're getting reviews for listings. And this is just another example of that in the case. Now, I don't have any specific recommendations on launch services. I know Spencer, I believe, has used some in the past. Frankly, my long-term prediction is that these may not be a viable strategy in the future. I believe that Amazon really, really wants to get back to organic, natural reviews from the actual customers of your product, not customers that are necessarily incentivized in some way, right? That's just my prediction, and it may not be the case, and we may be able to do this for a while. But again, in the meantime, you can use something like this. Just make sure that you're aware of the terms of service and you're monitoring that. Okay, so number 4 is your own list of VIP reviewers. So how do you actually get these? Well, there's a lot of different methods, but one good method is to use product inserts. So again, this is kind of gray area because when you communicate with your customers, you're only supposed to communicate them about their specific order and as it relates to Amazon. But a lot of people use product inserts. They use them to drive to a warranty page where they can register for a warranty for the product. They use it to send people to their own list of, sign up for this email list and you can get free products, and that can work really well. You can also use your own traffic source. When you do that, and you use, for example, your own website, that's going to provide you your most control because it's something that you could do, whatever you want on your own website. Whereas if you're an Amazon seller, you know that there's a lot of different rules that Amazon has that you have to make sure you follow. Now, the other thing too is you can actually use other people's websites. Now, this is a great strategy where, say, for example, you're doing a barbecue grill brush, which again, is an example I've used so many times before that I wouldn't suggest you to use that as your product. I mean, you could make money with it, but it'd take a lot of money to get in there because it's a little saturated. But if you're to go into that space and you were to Google barbecue blogs, for example, you could find a whole bunch of different blogs, and you can sort them by the number of traffic they're receiving, and you can contact these barbecue bloggers and say, hey, I have this product. Would you be interested in letting me give away some units for free on your blog? And I've done this before, and often what you'll find is that when you contact the larger websites, they're okay with doing that, but they want you to pay, right? There's usually some sort of a small cost associated with that. But then the smaller websites often are interested in doing it for free because they think, hey, this is great extra value for my readers. So that's something you can do as well. Very effective. Now, the other thing, too, is Facebook groups and brand pages. So what you can do with a Facebook group is, again, using this barbecue niche, go onto Facebook, search for barbecue, look for groups, and then don't just post your product in a group asking for reviews or anything else like that. What you want to do is you want to contact the admin of the Facebook group. Usually it's 1 or 2 people, maybe more, depending on how large the group is, and say, hey, I have this product. Again, use the same strategy as you have this website. Say, hey, I have this product. Could I give away some of these units to your audience for free? And then all they need to do is sign up for an email list, and they'll be able to get the coupon code to buy it at no cost, right? So this is another really effective way you can do that. You can also, again, use your brand page, but again, groups are going to be more effective because if you're building likes to a brand page, several years ago, Facebook did an update to their algorithm, and just having a bunch of likes on your page wouldn't work in terms of those posts being seen by everybody, and so you'd have to pay to boost those posts. So Facebook groups, whereas on the other hand, all those posts show up in people's feeds unless they've specifically has not to. And ultimately, we're going to find, and even if you just use some of these strategies I've talked about here, you're going to find more than enough people to help you get your initial reviews. But really, it's not hard to find people that want to take your product from you for free to get a review, right? Okay, so those 4 strategies that I covered, there are the when you launch sources. So there's what you can use to help you get your first 50 to 100 reviews, for example. So friends and family, top 10,000 reviewers, product launch services, and then your own list of VIP reviewers. Now, I mentioned before that 1,000 plus reviews is, I believe, the target that you should shoot for in terms of anyone in the future coming and seeing your listing and they see you have 1,000 plus reviews, they're not even going to bother trying to compete with you because it's just such a huge hurdle for them to overcome. And so in that case, on the long run, this is how you actually do that. Email follow-up sequences. So 95% of my reviews have come from a simple email follow-up campaign that I send automatically after people buy a product that I'm selling on Amazon. And it's the same exact strategy that I know a lot of other sellers that are using to do really, really well. And the best part too is that these are your real buyers, right? So if we think about the changes that Amazon's seeing in terms of, they're suing people on Fiverr that are leaving reviews, so actual individuals. They're suing websites that are doing fake reviews. And so I see that the trend is that they're going to start to clinch down onto some of the strategies people are using right now to get reviews. Whereas if you look at real buyers, those are the people that Amazon always wants to be reviewing their products, people that are buying the product naturally and then being asked to leave a review, right? So these are very unlikely to be removed in the future. And they're also, again, 100% TOS compliant, even with all the new changes they've been making. So again, number 5, follow-up campaign, 100% Amazon compliant as long as you make sure you follow these simple rules. Number 1, don't link to your own website URL. So if you're sending an email to a customer and you're thinking about what to put into that email, do not include a link to your own website URL. Amazon spent over 20 years building their platform as a marketplace for shoppers to come and buy products, and they don't want you to siphon off their traffic and send them elsewhere, right? So that's why they do that. So don't link to your website URL. Another thing too, don't market your other products. So even if those products are sold on Amazon, you aren't supposed to do that. The communications you have with these customers is supposed to be focused on that one specific transaction. And then number 3, focus your communication on just the one order and you're fine, right? So that's the whole purpose of this. Okay. So I'm actually going to talk about my specific email campaign sequence. I'm also going to give you a method to actually download that sequence if you want to use it as well. You can modify it. I know that Spencer uses a modified version of the campaign that I do, and we'll talk about that right now. Now, going into this, thinking about, okay, how can I write a campaign for my customers to try and get them to leave me reviews? And I think back to just this general strategy in business and in life is that you can achieve victory in most things by seeing what most people are doing and then doing it differently, right? And so using this example, I looked at this company called CD Baby. It was sold for $22 million several years ago, but the founder realized that most businesses that are selling products online are just really too serious in their customer communications. And so they found, okay, let's do something different. So they sent this is the email they actually sent, right? So you can go and read through this, but I'm going to mention a few things here just because it's kind of funny. And they say, your CD has been gently taken from our CD Baby shelves with sterilized, contamination-free gloves and placed onto a satin pillow, right? If you're a customer and you see that as the first line of an email about an order that you just placed, you're going to think, this is unusual. This is a different experience than I'm used to seeing than just your order was placed, right? And they go on saying a team of 50 employees inspected your CD and polished it to make sure it was in the best possible condition before mailing. And then they go on there. They mention private CD Baby Jet, which to this day, if you search private CD Baby Jet on Google, you're going to find a bunch of different references, and they use it as a way to help generate PR and a bunch of other things. And so this email, while a little over the top, was exactly what they did to help separate themselves from the other competitors out there that were just sending typical emails. So again, when I was up and looking at selling on Amazon, I brought other products and I looked to see what they were doing. And again, I found they're a little too serious as well. So what I did was I incorporated some different types of elements into my sequence that I'm going to give to you. I'll link to you at the end again so you can use it, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Okay, so the very first email, this is what I sent. I send it immediately after purchase. So this is how it goes. I'm not going to read off every element, but I'm going to highlight some of the few things here and then talk about the psychology behind why I did this. So email marketing is a really something I've learned a lot about over the last 6+ years of doing it. And so we're going to talk about some of the reasons why the email is written the way it is. So subject is thank you for your product name purchase. And so the software we'll talk about a little bit later actually can automatically replace that product name with any product you're selling, of course. And so likewise, too, you can put in hello, buyer first name, and automatically personalize your emails. But continues on saying, thank you for purchasing your product. This is the first of 3 emails you receive to ensure proper delivery and satisfaction. So again, we're setting the expectation they'll only receive 3 emails, and that these emails are being sent to make sure that they're satisfied with their purchase, right? So you're, again, trying to make sure that you're providing value to that customer and making sure they're happy with what they purchased. So you can put an order link there, and then we say we value complete satisfaction and strive to offer a high-quality product and service. We will personally follow up with Amazon to make sure your brand new product is delivered in a timely manner. And if for whatever reason you have any issues receiving your product, don't worry, we have you covered. Reply to this email or contact Amazon customer service right away. So when I'm selling products on Amazon, I personally prefer to let Amazon do most of the work for me. And so I'll put in their customer service link and let customers just talk to them as opposed to talking to me. But then after I do that, I say, well, while you wait for your item to be delivered, please find a stranger to high five. It will make their day, and you'll enjoy it too, right? So it's one little humor line, and maybe some of you might now be chuckling a bit. A few people saying here, I see John saying brilliant. So this line here is just more of a little bit of a humor type thing as opposed to a typical very robotic corporate sounding email. And I found that when you're selling on Amazon, especially if you are in fact a 1-person business or maybe a 2-person business, you have one business partner, it's better to sound like you're a smaller business than you are a major corporation because, again, everyone likes to root for the little guy or little girl, whatever it may be. And so that's something you can think about in the way you tone, rather the way you construct your emails. Okay. So second email is sent then 5 days after delivery. So it's first subject is how is your product working for you? So asking a question in a subject line is going to get you a higher open rate than opposed to not asking a question. So that's why we ask a question, but you don't want to overdo it. So it's the second email, we use a question and works really well. So again, hello, buyer first name is personalized. This is the second of 3 emails. So again, we're saying here, it's only 2, this is your second email. You're going to receive 1 more in the future. And now we're saying, okay, by now, Amazon should have delivered your brand new product. And then remember, if you have any issues whatsoever, please reply to this email or contact Amazon customer service. They're very helpful and speedy at, again, the customer service link. And again, here's where we go in to highlight how we're a smaller company. We say, hey, we are a growing company, and we appreciate every purchase. We strive to ensure that all of our customers are completely satisfied, and it's our hope that you truly are. 2-minute favor to ask, right? So again, we're setting the expectation, only 2 minutes. We're only asking for a 2-minute favor. And then we're qualifying it by saying, if the product has met or exceeded your expectations, we will love to hear about it. Please spread the word by leaving a review. Again, it will only take 2 minutes and is very much appreciated. Feel free to comment on how the product is working for you and our customer service. Your feedback helps ensure we keep doing things right. You can create a review here, and we include the review link. Now, come back up into that section. If you've noticed, I said, if the product has met or exceeded your expectations. So if it has met or exceeded your expectations, we want to you to leave a review, right? So if you like the product, please leave a review. Now, what does that mean? Well, the customer is going to read this and say, okay, well, if I don't like the product, so what do I do? Well, again, below that, I said, if there's any issues with the product, please reply to this email or contact Amazon customer service before leaving a review so we can take care of any issues first. All right, so again, we're trying to help diffuse people that might potentially leave a negative review before they actually do it. Now, below the actual review link, I say again, we will thank you profusely and even find a homeless kitten to hug on your behalf. So again, just a little bit of humor thrown in there. And I know that these lines work well because I use different types of jokes in the products that I've been selling on Amazon. But I find time and time again people leaving reviews and then referencing the jokes that I'm saying in these emails. So I know it's working and working really well. Now, the other thing too I mentioned is that, feel free to comment on how the product is working for you in our customer service, right? So you're telling customers that because sometimes people think, well, I've never reviewed a product on Amazon, right? If you think about Amazon as a whole, a third of America shops on Amazon. And a lot of those people, I've never left a review before, right? People that leave reviews are in the minority. And so sometimes they think, okay, well, I'm not even sure I would leave a review. Okay, so you're saying, okay, this is what you can do. Comment on how the product is working for you. Talk about our customer service. And so that's what you can do. You give them some ideas. Okay, so now one thing you can do actually is a modification. That's the second email I talked about. But you can actually ask for seller feedback on the second email instead of a review. Now, if you aren't as familiar with selling on Amazon, maybe you are, but seller feedback and product reviews are different, right? So seller feedback is tied to your specific overall account, your overall seller account. And product reviews are, of course, tied to your individual products, right? So what you can do is you can ask for seller feedback on your second email. And the reason why you do this is if you get negative seller feedback, you can actually stop sending emails to those people automatically and then get those seller feedback removed. We're going to come back to that in a bit. I'll talk about that strategy. But continuing on, email 3, sent 10 days after delivery. So again, subject line, last email. So we're telling them again, this is the last thing they're going to receive from us. This will be our final email to you regarding your brand new product. If you've not yet already left a review, we really appreciate you doing that. We take all reviews seriously and want to ensure orders are processed promptly and shipments arrive as promised. So again, we say if you have just 2 minutes to spare and are enjoying your product, please leave us a review here and then include the link. And then for each review we receive, we will find a public place to spontaneously dance in your honor. Right? So again, it's just a little bit of humor that's thrown in there, and it can work really well. And then lastly, if there are any issues with the product, again, we're saying please reply to this email directly or contact Amazon customer service before leaving a review. So again, when you're saying this in your emails, it is a way to help you filter against people that may have simply gone to your listing and left you a negative review without actually having been contacted by you because they didn't know how else to get their problem solved, right? And finish off the email saying thank you and please have a fantastically glorious day. Again, it's the last email you receive from us, so we really do hope you're enjoying your purchase. And if that's it, right? So just incorporating some humor can work really, really well, and following the structure and the way that I've described it can be very effective. So what tool do I actually use to send these emails? Well, most of the tools, there's several tools in the market, but most of them focus on people that are selling physical products on Amazon. They're doing retail arbitrage or they're selling other brands of products. But since I'm a private label seller, I'm created my own brand and selling products. That's exactly what Spencer's done as well when he talked about the 40,000 on Amazon he's done, his most recent income report. And so we actually created a tool that focuses specifically on the problems that brand owners and private label sellers experience, right? So salesbacker.com/go/niche pursuits is a link that you can go to right now to check it out. And I actually want to show you briefly what this tool looks like. And that's actually a free type thing that you can do to try it out. And then when you create that account, you also get access to the sequence of emails that I shared. So let me actually just demo this software for you. And again, this is something that unless you're actually selling on Amazon, and even if you are, you sign up, it's free. There's no credit card you need to enter in. You can try it out, start sending emails, and you can start getting reviews before you ever would have to pay for it. But let me show you what the software does, and I can describe a little bit more. So when you first create your account, you log into SalesBacker, and inside your dashboard, you're immediately presented with some data about how you're doing overall with your business, right? You can see your orders, the number of emails you've been sending over the last 7 days, 30 days, etc. You can see your product reviews. You can see your how many positive, how many neutral, how many negative. You can see your seller feedback as well. And then you can also see your conversion ratios. So you can see, okay, how many products, positive reviews minus the negative reviews divided by the order. So roughly how many people are converting into positive reviews, how many people are converting into seller feedback. And so that's great data that you can see just at a glance at how your account's doing overall. The other thing too is you can very quickly see, okay, here's my recently sent emails. You can look up an email and you can see, okay, here's what was sent, and just to make sure everything's running smoothly. And then you can come down to here, you can say see more sent emails. Now, if you've been selling on Amazon for any period of time, I'm 100% positive you're going to run into the situation. And some of you may already know the situation I'm about to share, but you're going to find people that buy your products on Amazon and you think, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with them? Is there something wrong with did they have a bad day today, or what's going on, right? Because you're going to have people that occasionally are just angry, right? For whatever reason, they're angry, so they might want to leave, be upset with you, or they might threaten leaving you a negative review or whatever. So you can actually find them in this area. You can search their order ID, their name, their email, whatever, and then you can blacklist them, right? So you can make sure that they never receive an email from you ever again. And then that way you can help reduce the chance of them potentially leaving you a negative review. You can also just simply stop an email for that specific sequence, right? Now, the other thing too is I mentioned before that we built this specifically for people that are selling their own private label brands on Amazon. So one thing that's really helpful is when you have people that do leave you a negative review, you want to make sure that you're notified of that. And so we do email alerts, when you get negative seller feedback or you get product reviews, whatever you wanted to do. And so what I like to do is on any product that I'm selling, I like to leave comments on products that have 3 stars or less, reviews that are at least 3 stars or less. And the reason for this isn't necessarily just to try and make sure that customer is satisfied, although that's one benefit. But what you're really doing is you're trying to make sure that people that are coming to your listing and looking at potentially buying your product, they see that you've commented and tried to address the concern of that person that's left that negative review. That puts them more at ease at potentially buying your product as opposed to seeing no comment from you, right? So you want to make sure you comment on those reviews. But until we actually built this software, I was actually manually going to Amazon and then looking for these and then doing it. But here you can just get an email notification. We check multiple times a day and then send you an email when you've gotten a negative seller feedback or a negative product review. So it really helps you out. And I see a few questions that are coming in here. I'm going to answer the questions at the end since we don't have a whole much more to go. But so the other thing too is that we've built it to be very product centric, right? So you create your account and you go in here and you can see your product, you can see an email campaign, whether it's running or not. So it's very simple, whether you're sending emails or you're not sending emails. And when you first create your account, of course, everything's set to paused until you set it to running. And what you can do is you can select your campaign. Now, on this product page, you can see your bestseller rank that's tracked over time. You can see the number of product reviews inside the app itself. So you can see, okay, let me see the reviews that are just 3 stars, and they can go here and you can be part of those. So you can see that type of data. Now, the actual construction of emails itself is really simple. So we set it up so that you can, in less than 10 minutes, I talked to Spencer. He was one of the first users of SalesBacker, and he was up and going in under 10 minutes because we pre-created campaigns for you based on what you might like to get. So if you want to get product reviews, that's great. You can use the Review Maximizer. If you want to get seller feedback, you can use the Feedback Maximizer. If you want to get both, you can use the combo. And so inside here, the emails themselves are very straightforward, right? So here's a seller feedback request. Did your product name arrive yet? And then this is what it looks like. So it's just a simple editor that you can go in, you can type, you can put in these merge tags that automatically replace this text with a link to this. So for example, it's the seller feedback link. And then you can see here you've got the customer service. And another thing that's cool too is, like I mentioned before, that being able to not send an email if someone's left you negative seller feedback is really, really helpful. So you can ask for that first, because what happens is if a customer leaves you negative seller feedback, then not only can you stop the email from them receiving another request from you asking for a product review after that, but what you can do is then you can stop that person from you can actually have that seller feedback removed from your listing or from your account, because Amazon doesn't want seller feedback that's left in the form of a product review. So if your seller feedback comes through and it's a 1-star seller feedback and they say, I hate the product, you can get that removed by Amazon. You just go into your Seller Central account, you go into the help area, and you can actually do this step by step. I do it all the time. And many times they don't even actually ask you to do anything else, to provide any other information. They just simply remove it because they actually have artificial intelligence, I believe, that's built in to actually read the review and then have it removed. So it's really, really helpful. Now, the other thing you can do too is just to add additional value. You can add file attachments. So after someone buys your product, either on your listing, say it's a barbecue grill brush, you could put your top 10 best barbecue recipes, and you could use that to include as a file attachment for customers. Another strategy you could do, though, is don't even mention that you're doing that, and then on the first email they receive, you're saying, hey, I see you just bought a barbecue grill brush from us. Thank you so much. And I've also included my personal top 10 favorite barbecue recipes as a thank you, right? And if you do that, then offering something up as a free bonus that they weren't expecting, it brings up in this need for people to do, it's called reciprocity. So it's, again, we're talking psychology here, where once you've given someone something, they expect that they are then feel more obligated to give you something in return. So you give them something for free they weren't expecting, and then they give you a review, right? So that's the idea that they were doing here. And so again, very straightforward to actually create these emails, and the system itself is really straightforward. We're sending thousands upon thousands of emails for people right now. And let me come back into my presentation, and I'll come back over to the questions. The other thing too, again, I mentioned that if you stay till the end, there'd be an extra bonus. So we still have several hundred people on here. So top 10,000 reviewers, that was a strategy I talked about before. There's a company, the 8-figure company, and they were doing this exact strategy, going into the top 10,000 reviewers, contacting these people, getting reviews left, and that was the primary strategy they were using for their initial reviews. So I actually have an entire 10,000 person database. So every single person on that list in an Excel document for you. And so if you go to salesbacker.com/go/niche pursuits, then as soon as you create your free account, watch for the email, and you're going to get that delivered to you as well in that specific email. So that's actually a bonus that it will end on Friday. And again, I mentioned before, it's no credit card to actually sign up and start sending emails. So it's, we literally can't charge you anything unless you wanted to, unless you were actually successfully selling on Amazon and wanted to keep sending emails. And so it's very much just driven on providing value to you first before asking for any type of thing in return. So salesbacker.com/go/niche pursuits, and that'll get you that bonus as well. And this top 10,000 reviewer strategy is really helpful, can help you out in getting a lot of reviews as well. So let me actually type that into the chat box here too, and I want to make sure that there are a lot of different questions that were coming in. So I'm going to type this in, and I'm going to head over to the questions. All right, so just typed it in.
Yeah, maybe while you're doing that, Chris, maybe looking at some of the questions, I'll just jump in because I know you mentioned that I was one of the first users of SalesBacker, and so I can just briefly share my own experience with that. So I have been using SalesBacker for a few months, and it works really, really well. It's something that, for me, maybe I should be more proactive, but I really like it because it's something that I've been able to set up once, the first time, and now it just works in the background, and I don't even have to think about it. Those emails are going out, and when I make additional sales, of course, people are getting those emails and leaving reviews based on that. But the feature that I really love is, well, let me back up and say one thing that I hate doing almost with a passion is writing autoresponder emails. For whatever reason, that task for me is just one I dread, and it will honestly take me like months to finally sit down and redo my autoresponder series for whatever business I'm working on. But with SalesBacker, the huge thing for me was Chris's template emails that he already had in place that you can select from. So honestly, I went in and I selected one of the templates, that had 3 emails already pre-written. And once I have something pre-written, it's so easy for me to go in and edit a few sentences to make it more personable, or more personal to me, and then I changed a couple of the sentences to relate to my specific product. And so having those templates was huge for me to get up and running. And so anyways, that's been my experience. Even if you don't enjoy writing autoresponder emails, this makes it really easy to have those templates to get up and running pretty quick. And so that's my 2 cents. I love it. Easy to use, easy to get up and running really quick, and it works. So.
Yeah, thanks, Spencer. I mean, and that's the thing is that we knew pretty early on. I'm the same way. I hate writing, and actually I put off writing those default templates for everyone else a little bit myself. But I knew that when people sign up, and this is a lot of the thing that I hear time and time again, people sign up, they pick their campaign, they make some slight modifications, and then they run it, and then they deal with getting those email notifications on product reviews and seller feedback, and so they handle those as those come through. And then, of course, too, I mean, the top 10,000 reviewers strategy, that's something that we still do today, and it works really well. And so you can get that list as well. You've already completely pulled out that huge database of all those reviewers, and so you can get that when you sign up too. So it's free to sign up to get the bonus and everything else, and then you also have an unlimited 60-day free trial. So it's normally 30 days, but you have unlimited. You can send as many emails as you want during those 60 days, and that's how it works. So question-wise, I guess I'm just going to pick some off. There are a lot of people that were posting as we went along here. So if you posted a question before, and I guess I didn't really answer that many questions, but if you posted a question before, go ahead and repost it here. I'm going to try and pick a few here for people. Russ is saying, does Amazon know about this product and is it safe to use? So Russ, you can. So this is based on, there's a specific guideline in Amazon. It's called the Customer Communications Guideline. And it specifically talks about, I mentioned those 3 rules, the 3 main rules that you want to make sure you follow when you're talking to customers. You can contact your customers. They just have some stipulations, right? So you can't contact them and say, hey, go to my website and sign up for my email list, right? You can't do that. Or go to my website and buy my product from my Shopify store. Again, you can't do that because you have to focus on the specific transaction on Amazon. And so you just simply ask for an honest, unbiased review, and you ask them, as a favor. And again, you use some of the other elements the elements I talked about, and it can work really, really well. One question was saying it had a few issues seeing everything. Is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. But again, the recording will go up, but the bonus, the top 10,000 reviewers, will only be available until Friday. And I think there's one question from Max. I already signed up before. How do I get the top 10,000 reviewers? Let me just go ahead and email into our support team, Max. And if you need that link, just let me know. But you can email in. So another question was asking, where's the email actually sent? So from Russ. So the email is sent using the customer service email you have set within your Amazon Seller Central account. So again, it's not sent from SalesBacker, it's sent from you, the seller, to your customer. And so all we're doing is facilitating the email to be sent to your customer in the first place. We build the software to work and all that. And then that's handled by you. Let's see here. Anna's saying, what is the best strategy for transferring my current autoresponsor service to SalesBacker? So Anna, simplest way is you can actually just, if you're using some other service, you can just transfer your campaigns over, so you can copy and paste your campaigns over to SalesBacker. You might need to replace the text replacement variables with the merge tags that we built into SalesBacker. Send yourself some test emails and then shut it off at your other area. And as long as those test emails look good, you turn it on at SalesBacker and you're good to go. And actually, let me go ahead and post in the support link. So in case you need to email and you have technical questions that I don't specifically answer, then I'll type this here, and then our team of people can reply as well. Some people saying, what's the difference between this and some other services? A few different services people are talking about. So the biggest thing is that SalesBacker was built specifically for private label sellers. So if you're a private label seller and you're selling products on Amazon, you have your own brand or you're a brand owner or whatever, then we built this specifically for you in terms of the things that we're doing. So the product, the emphasis on product reviews in terms of sending you email notifications on product reviews and seller feedback. None of the other tools right now are doing email notifications on product reviews, right? And yet product reviews are the most important thing for you if you're an actual Amazon seller that wants product reviews. And again, the more product reviews you have, the higher conversion you have. And so that's really something to keep in mind as well. The other thing too is, again, there's a focus on the tracking your BSRs for you, and it's very much a product-driven viewpoint. I know that some of the other services out there use weird filters and all sorts of things to try and send emails when you don't even necessarily know for sure if your emails are going out. So it's really straightforward. You just see, okay, here's your product list. Either you have a campaign running or you don't. And so those are some of the differences that are there. And ultimately, those other tools were built for seller feedback originally, but we focus on product reviews. Okay. Anna's saying, I might have missed this, but what is the monthly cost for SalesBacker after the trial is over? So let me actually pull it up here. I didn't mention that. So inside, when you first sign up, it's a free trial, unlimited emails for 60 days. And so if you were to then, after that time period, if you send more than 120 emails per month, then you would be up onto a paid tier. And so it's very much usage-based. I believe Spencer's on the $39 a month tier, so he sends less than 4,000 emails a month. And the only reason I know that is because I asked him what he was on. And then, of course, any of these paid plans. So the other thing, too, that's different, going back to the earlier question, is that our plan is that even if you're a smaller seller, we want to make sure that we spend a lot of time with our team to build great features into the product itself. And so we want to just restrict those to people that are much larger sellers, right? So some other companies, they restrict their best features for the plans that are much more expensive. Whereas we want to make sure that even if you're a smaller seller, we're going to give everything that's awesome that we're building to everyone, right? So if you're on a paid plan, then any premium feature we build will be available for you. So that's a little bit how that structure is set up. Okay. Gil is saying, how do you best use the top 10,000 reviewer database? We pick a sample and offer a free product. Yeah, so Gil, once you have your product in mind that you want to sell, you already have your units in stock at Amazon preferably, then you're going to contact those people and you can say, hey, I see you're interested in this specific category. Would you be able to do a review for my product? And I'll send you out a free version of it to try it out. And then you just have to say, can you make sure that you mention in your review that you received this product at a discount or for free in exchange for a review, an honest and unbiased review, right? So that's what you do. You should contact them that way. John's saying, do you actually go after 1,000 reviews? How long does that take on average? So John, it's entirely based on the number of sales you're doing for your product. But what I prefer to have is 50 to 100 plus reviews before we really even start to market a product. And that's usually what I would advise for others to do as well. Because at that point, you're already into that zone where most people see it and they think, okay, I can buy this product. There's enough social proof here. But once you start to really scale the review count up to 1,000 plus reviews, then anyone else that's thinking about competing with you is going to think twice when they see how much of a foothold you have in that specific market. Okay, a few other comments from people asking me to email them later. Okay. Sean is asking, does SalesBacker work for books that we sell on Amazon or Kindle books? There's another question about Kindle books. So unfortunately, it doesn't work with Kindle books or physical books because Amazon doesn't share the email address for those customers, right? So they don't share that information within the transaction itself. So it's not something we can help send you emails for your customers. Tony's saying, can we use this product for reviews on our own website as well as Amazon? So Tony, it's only based on Amazon specifically, right? So we focus in on one very specific thing that we know that provides value for sellers, and that is to get more reviews on your Amazon listing. And we know time and time again through looking at data that the more reviews a product has, the more those are going to translate then to help you with driving more sales. And so we focus specifically on Amazon, in part because there's so many sellers on Amazon that use this, that want this type of a service to help them get more reviews. Let's see here. A few questions that look like they're repeats from others, maybe because I already answered them. Yeah, so I know that there were a lot of questions coming in that I may have missed. So at this point, this is a good time to say, if I didn't ask or answer your question, then just repost it here, and I'll make sure I get to it. And again, if there's something that and again, if I still miss, or if you want to just email our support, you can email support@salesbacker.com, and we have a team of people that can reply as well. Brian has a good question. On average, what is the email to review conversion rate on physical products? I assume you're referring to using SalesBacker. So Brian, we don't. So it varies, right? Again, so what I found is it's just from talking to other sellers that are using SalesBacker is that people that are, say, for example, selling supplements, they're less likely to get reviews than, say, someone selling a product that they might like to talk about in terms of a review, right? So something that's more mainstream. Some baby product, for example, moms, dads, parents love talking about their babies and the products that they're purchasing, and so they're more likely to get reviews for that. The range that we've seen from people just through their self-reporting is between a lower single-digit percentage on up to low double digits, so like low double-digit meaning like 15% or so. And of course, the way you write your emails can impact that as well. Let's see here. Sorry, lots of questions coming through here. John's saying, where should we start at contacting any of the top 10,000 reviewers, from the top or further down the list? So John, the people higher up, the highest up on the list are the ones that get contacted the most. And so what I suggest is, it's an Excel document that we provide to you as a bonus when you sign up for free. And so if you just use Control plus F, so just basically control, you're looking to find elements in the document. So you could just search for, say your niche is barbecue, you could search for interest in food, for example, right, or kitchen. And then you could filter down that list to be more narrow, and then you can use that as your initial contact base. So you kind of want to contact people that you think are more likely to be interested in leaving a review. And you're going to find that people are very, very responsive when you contact them. Some might say, okay, I'm not interested in doing this product because I've already reviewed one before. We've seen that response before. And then others just say, yeah, let's do it. I'd love to buy this, or I'd love to review this. Craig's saying security. Yeah, so Craig, to clarify, I've been building software businesses for the last several years, and then with SalesBacker, I specifically partnered with someone that the last business that he created, it was acquired by CBS, and so on the security standpoint, I partnered with someone that's really, really good in terms of developing the product itself for it to be really stable, but also he's of course very secure. It's all SSL in terms of encryption. All the data is secure. And so ultimately, yeah, making sure your data is secure is really important. So yeah, it's a very secure platform. Oh, meaning, yeah. And also to clarify too, again, I don't see any of your specific products, so I don't have access to that information. The support team, if they have to answer questions from you, and you ask them something and you're, referencing a specific product, then, anything that you share, obviously then someone's going to know, but we don't, look in that regard, right? Maybe that helps you clarify. John's saying, Chris, I'm already a user of SalesBacker. Can I get the list? So yeah, John, you can just email support@salesbacker.com and just say, for the subject, just say Booyah, just BOOYAA, or yeah, YAH, and we'll give you that. Russ is saying, how would you give the reviewer a discount or free item from Amazon? So Russ, a few different ways you can do it. You can do a coupon code, promo code, one-off promo code, or you can actually just do a fulfillment order within Seller Central. So a fulfillment order meaning you create the order, you put in the address information, and then you send it off to them. Richard's asking some questions about the technical side. So, Richard, after you go to that URL, salesbacker.com/go/niche pursuits, that gets you to the special sign-up page where you have the 60-day free trial and also tracks the sign-up so that we make sure that you get the top 10,000 reviewers database. Then after that, there's one step where you connect your Seller Central account using the MWS API. So that's just short for Merchant Web Services. It's the API that we use to actually integrate with Amazon to see the order data so that you can actually send out emails to your customers. But if there's any questions in terms of the actual sign up, then you can email our support team and we can help you out. We send thousands upon thousands of emails every single day for users. John's saying, thanks, Chris, appreciate it. Awesome. I think we'll, a few more questions, and I think we'll wrap it up so we can stay on time here. Any other questions? And again, if you use this link, you can sign up. It's free to get going and to get the reviewer information. And really, we set it up to be, we'll prove the value to you first. And so some people, maybe they're not yet selling on Amazon. You can still sign up and get the bonus and then try it out later. But it's very much set into the point that, we prove the value to our users first, and then after they are sending emails, if they're sending more emails than our free tier, that's the only time then that there's any payment. And it's saying this also is really helpful, and I was wondering if I can share this with my class. Yeah, Anna, you can, yeah, sure, certainly share it. And I know Steve, who you're mentioning, so you can always email him and say, hey, tell Chris to come talk to us. Russ saying, thanks, Chris, this is awesome. Thank you, Russ. Appreciate it. Barbara's, thank you, Chris and Spencer. You're very welcome. I believe, Barbara, you might have been the person that said Bellingham, so anyone that lives in Bellingham is a friend of mine. John's saying, I know Spencer has more to say. Spencer likes to, when we do these types of presentations, Spencer likes me to come in and he's like, you talk, Chris.
That's right, man. This is your specialty. I'm gonna let you take care of it. So I've always got more to say, but this is your specialty, so I don't want to rain on your parade. So.
Well, John's asking
John,
you. Yeah, go ahead, Spencer.
John wants to hear my forecast for this month. I will be sharing numbers. I'm actually getting a lot of things in stock for the big holiday shopping season. So this month's going to be, it's going to be good, but November and December should be huge. So I will be sharing more numbers. I've heard really good things about December shopping season, and so I fully expect that December will be pretty monumental in terms of sales for me. So, and I will be sharing those numbers for sure.
Oh yeah, you could definitely double, triple, or more your sales. It's insane.
Yep, that's what I've heard. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and of
Get
course
the shipments now.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, I don't see a lot of other questions that are coming in. Kenny's saying if I'm still in the product research on private label, how do I sign up for the free trial? So get Kenny, just that link on your screen you can use. Just type it in. And yeah, I mean, I think lots of questions are just saying thanks for the presentation. So that's great. I'm glad that come on and share some strategies for you that are to help you get more reviews. Russ says thanks. John says thanks. Charlotte, wish you both continued success. Okay. Well, I mean, Spencer, if you have anything else to say, I don't know if I have anything else. If you have a question, people still have questions, again, you can just email our support team and we can help you out any questions that we may have missed. And we'll post the replay up. You'll get an automatic email with a link to that replay a little bit later tonight for those of you that missed it. And thank you again, Spencer, for inviting me on. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to claim complete credit for your success on Amazon.
That's right, man. No problem there. So, but yeah, I want to thank everybody really quick too. Thanks, guys, for coming on, making some time in your evening for us. We appreciate it very much. And Chris, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge. Hopefully everybody else can take it and apply it and have some success in their business too. So appreciate it.
All right. Thanks again, Spencer, and have a great night, everybody. And, yep, thank you.